and he doesn't shy away from opinion.
And I do enjoy drinking cold beer at ballparks. So if that makes me a baseball fan, then I'm a diehard baseball fan.
It's Hacker After Dark on 1010XL.
And a very good Tuesday evening to you, Jacksonville. It is Hacker After Dark, 1010XL, 92.5 FM with Aaron Williams. The Hacker Ryan Green with you. Glad you are with us. Glad to be back with you. Had to take a personal day yesterday, but certainly happy to be back with you. I sat in with Hayes Carline earlier on the Frangie Show from 4 o'clock to 6 o'clock, and I'll actually do that the rest of the week. And then I will be here with you in our normal slot, 8 o'clock to 10 o'clock every night here for Hacker After Dark. It is a Tuesday night that finds us with the NFL Scouting Combine. Almost every general manager and head coach in the league, certainly almost every general manager anyway, held court today up in Indianapolis. As we know, James Gladstone and Liam Cohen are not in Indy. They want to watch the tape more than watch guys run around in their shorts, which I don't disagree with, mind you. But they're not up in Indy. But a lot of coaches and GMs are up in Indianapolis, and there was certainly a lot of news that came out of Indianapolis, and we'll go through some of the hotter topics that came out of some of those press conferences earlier today. Obviously, still a ton of reaction about the United States over Canada in the gold medal game on Sunday. I got some thoughts on that I will share with you in one moment. A big week of college basketball actually starts tonight. Florida State, Miami play tonight, I believe, at 9 o'clock. Florida State's actually getting better. They've won a couple games in a row. Miami still pretty comfortably in the NCAA tournament, but they don't want to drop a couple here to round out the season, or they could wind up on the bubble pretty quick. And then tomorrow night, Florida and Texas. And then Saturday, Florida with another one against Arkansas, in which College Game Day will be down in Gainesville at the O'Connell Center. So there is a ton to get into, and we are glad you are spending part of your Tuesday evening with us. Guest lineup tonight looks like this. Coming up in about 15 minutes or so, Luke Easterling of Athlon Sports. I've had Luke on for years. Athlon Sports, obviously you know them in large part for their college football magazine, right, the preseason. Well, Athlon also does a terrific NFL draft magazine as well. It hits newsstands on March the 6th, and Luke Easterling is a big part of putting that magazine together. So we will talk to Luke about the scouting combine, about some of the younger Jaguars, the Caleb Ransaws, Bashal Tutins, obviously Travis Hunter among them. So we'll do a deep dive on the Jaguar roster and on this year's draft class with Luke Easterling of Athlon Sports in about 15 minutes or so. And then towards the top of the 9 o'clock hour, I mentioned a big night, or a big week rather, for the Florida Gators tomorrow in Texas, and then Saturday at home against John Calipari and Arkansas. Patrick Young, the 2014 SEC Defensive Player of the Year, will join me to talk Todd Golden and this Gator basketball program. So again, glad to be back with you on a Tuesday here on Hacker After Dark. Every night on HAD, we do kick it off with a big deal of the night and Aaron Williams. Let's do that right now.
Time now for the big deal of the night.
What's the big deal?
What is the big deal?
No, because it is a big deal.
On Hacker After Dark.
Two big deals of the night here on Hacker After Dark. I was off last night, so I want to give you my thoughts quickly on what we saw Sunday morning with the Winter Olympics. You know, there are some sporting events that you'll remember where you were, and some have more meaning to you than others. I'll never forget where I was when the Jaguars played the Houston Oilers, September 3rd, 1995. It was the first game in the history of the Jaguar franchise. I was in what was then called Jacksonville Municipal Stadium watching that game. I'll never forget where I was when I saw Florida win a national championship over Florida State on January the 2nd, 1997, at the Sugar Bowl. I was at home at my house in Mandarin watching the game with some family members in the living room, living it up. Now, those games obviously have sentimental value to me, being the Jaguars and the Gators. I'm not going to go as far as to tell you that the United States over Canada in Olympic hockey would rank as high on my personal list as games like I mentioned involving Jacksonville and Florida. What I will say is this: 10 years from now, 15 years from now, 16 years from now, 4 Olympics from now, when they're rewinding the clock back to 2026 and talking about the Olympic Games in Italy and the United States win over Canada in the gold medal game in men's hockey, I will remember this game. It will be one that will stick with me. Much like Sidney Crosby's golden goal in 2010, which Canada beat the United States in sudden death overtime to win the gold. I remember where I was then, 16 years later. 16 years from now, I will remember that unbelievable moment on Sunday morning, mind you, when the United States, in overtime, after 46 years, wins their first gold medal in men's hockey. Should it be 3-on-3 in overtime? I don't know. I'm not a big enough hockey fan to know that. I will leave it to the purists. You tell me. Should NHL players be playing in this Olympics? Because I just learned this over the last week. They haven't been over the last 3 Winter Olympics. The last dozen or so years, the NHL did not stop playing. The Winter Olympics kept going with the NHL still in action. Some people were upset NHL players are playing. Again, I'm not a hockey purist. I'm not a hockey diehard. It did not bother me one way or the other. I'm just simply there for the love of sports, the love of the Winter Olympics, and watching an event. And that, to me, is what Sunday morning was. U.S.-Canada, the rivalry, obviously, but, man, it was an event. Sports bars all across this country, watch parties all across this country. I watched it with my son. He was fired up. He actually started doing the Pledge of Allegiance after the United States scored in overtime to win. It was a moment that I won't soon forget. And that's what makes sports great. That's what makes the Olympics great. You don't have to be a diehard Olympic fan. Like, we're all diehard football fans, right? Some of us are diehard basketball fans. Some of us are diehard baseball fans. I don't think there's anybody here listening to me in Jacksonville, Florida tonight that is a diehard Winter Olympics fan. And I'm not sure, honestly, in Jacksonville, how many quote-unquote diehard hockey fans we have. I'm sure we have some. I'm not going to say we don't have any, but we have a lot fewer diehard hockey fans than we do certainly football, basketball, or baseball. But Sunday wasn't about the diehards. Sunday was about the casuals. Sunday was about, honestly, guys like me that are observers of the NHL. Could I tell you every player on every team? Of course not. But I watched Sunday every second of the United States and Canada. I watched the goalie for the United States, Hellebuck, absolutely stand on his head at times and do unbelievable work. The guy actually has to go back to Winnipeg now. He rips the Canadian hearts out in the gold medal game, and he has to go back and play for the Winnipeg Jets, which is interesting. I watched the Tkachuk brothers and everything that went into it. It was outstanding theater. 30 for 30 on ESPN will be made about that game. A documentary will be made on Netflix one day about the United States and Canada. The fallout from the game. How upset the Canadians are about losing. Everything that transpired since Sunday morning for the last 24 to 48 hours. It was a moment in sports history that we won't soon forget. Was it the Miracle on Ice in 1980? Probably not. I wasn't alive for that thing. I know many of you were. I don't know if this would classify as or qualify as being as big a moment as the Miracle on Ice. I would tend to doubt it. But what it was a moment in our sports fandom in Olympics history that none of us will soon forget. That's what makes sports great. That's what makes the Olympics great. And congratulations to the United States, both women's and men's hockey team, for beating Canada both in overtime to win the gold medal for the red, white, and blue. That is one of the big deals of the night. The other big deal of the night is now you start turning the page when it comes to the National Football League. You start ever so slowly turning that page. It's been 6+ weeks since the Jaguars season ended. There's been a lot of news. There's been some stuff happening. The coordinators have come back, a couple of re-signings. But man, the offseason's here. Indianapolis, the NFL Scouting Combine, on-field work begins on Thursday. The Scouting Combine has arrived. We are 13 days away, officially now inside of 2 weeks, until NFL free agency, pro days soon after that, and we are 2 months away. In fact, 2 months away yesterday. We're now inside of 2 months until the National Football League draft. The NFL offseason is here, and it should be quite the offseason for the Jacksonville Jaguars. For the last 6 weeks, we've talked about Devin Lloyd and Travis Etienne and Montaric Brown and Greg Newsome and all the free agents to be here in Jacksonville. We will start getting clarity on those free agents very, very quickly. We're going to start figuring out who the Jaguars are re-signing, who they're letting walk. Are they negotiating contracts to free up salary cap room to try to do something in free agency? All of that stuff is going to start happening very, very soon. And we'll do more on this when we have an NFL segment later on tonight here on Hacker After Dark. But what about all the stuff that came out of the Combine today? Kirk Cousins is going to be released by Atlanta on March 11th, says their general manager, Ian Cunningham. Atlanta also officially put the franchise tag today on former Florida Gator tight end Kyle Pitts. So he's not going anywhere. He was scheduled to be a free agent. He will now remain with the Atlanta Falcons. Excuse me. We got other news in Houston, right? C.J. Stroud will not be traded in Houston. In fact, Nick Caserio, the Texans general manager, used the term moronic to describe C.J. Stroud rumors that he might be traded. My one thought on that is, well, you throw 4 interceptions in a playoff game that you lose. I don't necessarily mind the fact that the fan base is not all that enthused about C.J. Stroud. Me personally, I think the Texans should sign C.J. Stroud to a 6-year, $300 million contract. I want C.J. Stroud to remain in Houston as long as possible. Because of the 2 quarterbacks in the division right now, the one here in Jacksonville and C.J. Stroud in Houston, I will gladly take our guy in Trevor Lawrence over C.J. Stroud for the next 5 to 10 years. So I hope Houston gives him a long-term contract and takes a lot of salary cap room with him. Pay that man $1 billion if you want and have him be the Texans quarterback long-term. We got Spytek, the general manager with the Raiders, saying he expects Max Crosby to be a Las Vegas Raider. That's contradictory to everything we've heard leading up to today. But again, a lot of news out at the Scouting Combine. We'll dive more deeply into it coming up here on Hacker After Dark. But the bottom line is the Combine is here. We're inside of 2 weeks away until NFL free agency. We are inside of 2 months away till the NFL draft. And there is going to be a lot happening, not only here in Jacksonville, but around the rest of the National Football League. And, oh, by the way, as I mentioned, a big week in college basketball for Florida. They take on Texas tomorrow night. They take on Arkansas on Saturday. You got Florida State and Miami on the college hardwood later on this evening. And 1 week from today, John Sumrall will host his first practice, spring practice, as head coach of the Florida Gators as the Gators begin spring drills in just 7 days' time. Absolutely a great time of year in the world of sports. The March Madness NCAA tournament is on the horizon. The players out at Sawgrass is on the horizon. It is going to be a great month plus, and we are glad to be here with you every night on Hacker After Dark. As I mentioned, the Scouting Combine in Indianapolis, 300-plus prospects are in attendance. On-field work begins on Thursday. But what about the Jaguars? Take this into consideration. And I'm going to talk with Luke Easterling of Athlon Sports about this in a moment. We're going to break down the draft class as well. But the Jaguars won 13 games last year. 13. You probably remember most of them, as a matter of fact. I would imagine you probably would remember most of them. Of those 13 wins, particularly after the bye week when the Jaguars got red hot, there was no Travis Hunter, right? There was no Caleb Ransaw. And Wyatt Milam played very sparingly, did not start a game, came in only when injuries happened or when there was a sixth lineman on the field, and he only did that for basically the last 5 or 6 games. The Jaguars don't have a first-round pick in 2026, which is unfortunate. What they do have are 4 picks in the top 100, but they also, if you rewind the clock back to last year, have their top 3 draft picks, Travis Hunter, Caleb Ransaw, and Wyatt Milam. You only got 7 games out of Hunter. You got very little out of Milam, and Ransaw didn't see the field due to injuries. Those 3 guys come back, probably with an added hunger of losing a lot of their rookie season. Plus, you have your 11 draft picks in April, 4 of which are in the top 100. I don't think the Jaguars are going to be very active in the free agent market, but I am very excited to see what James Gladstone can do in this year's draft and with the guys last year that basically missed out on their rookie season and how they can enter the fray, if you will, with a team that is coming off a 13-win season. With all that being said, Luke Easterling, Athlon Sports. Luke's been one of my draft guys for years. He has a big part in putting together the Athlon NFL Draft Magazine that hits newsstands on March 6th. We'll talk about this year's draft class. We'll look at some of the younger Jaguar players, and we'll do that with Luke Easterling next on a Tuesday night here in Northeast Florida. Jacksonville, we're glad you're with us here on Hacker After Dark. It's 1010XL 92.5 FM.
1010XL covers the Players' Championship start to finish. Track your favorite golfers and get live Southeast Orthopedic Specialist leaderboard updates. Teed up by Green Acres Sporting Goods, Performance Painting, and Duck Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic and Air Conditioning.
Tusk, the classic tribute to Fleetwood Mac. Friday, March 6th at Florida Theater. Playing the hits and deep cuts of rock and roll Hall of Famers Fleetwood Mac. An unforgettable show with the iconic music you love. On sale now at floridatheater.com. Don't miss Tusk. Recreating the Fleetwood Mac experience like no other.
Baloo here for Smunez Vision. Why Smunez Vision? Well, I've been with Dr. Neil Smunez now since I got back to Jacksonville in 2006. 37 years of experience he has. Smunez Vision is a family organization that focuses on personal high-quality medical and surgical eye care. Dr. Catherine Smunez is fellowship trained in cornea and cataract surgery and all refractive surgery. Combined, that's 30 years plus in laser eye surgery. Visit SmunezVision.com today. Here you can see.
Bueller. Stay cooler with Bueller.
I'm starting to realize being a homeowner isn't all upside, Jason.
I mean, it does give you a place to live.
Yeah, but now suddenly I need to know the names of all the people I need to look after my house.
Like who?
Like if my air conditioner breaks in the middle of the heat wave, I need to know who I call to fix it.
That's me. You know me.
But what if my water heater dies or my toilet backs up?
That would also be me. Bueller Air and Plumbing.
Okay, fine, but what about my duct cleaning and my water filtration and my sewer drain? Where am I going to find all those guys if something goes wrong? I'm just a guy with a house and a dream and...
This pair of sunglasses.
Whoa.
Bueller Air and Plumbing is the only name you need to know. Our club members even get 2 free visits a year, so you know we're there when you need us.
Well, that's cool.
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Visit BuellerAir.com.
Patrick Young here, aka the Big PY, and you know I love my Florida Gators. Now you can hear my Gator basketball instant reaction following each Gator Hoops game. Look for my takes on the social channels of 1010XL. Brought to you by VanguardSportsLeagues.com.
I used to dread going to the dentist. Every visit felt like a sales pitch with constant upselling, surprise fees on my bill, and I could never get in when I needed to. But Harbor Dental Care? Totally different. They saw me the next day, gave me honest pricing up front, and even set me up with a payment plan I could actually afford. No pressure, no surprise charges, just kind people who get it. If you want to experience dentistry the way it should be, book your appointment today at harbordental.care. That's HARBOUR dental.care.
The Purple Heart isn't just a name, it represents service, discipline, and earning trust. At Purple Heart Pools, that standard shows up most in pool renovations. If your pool is outdated or worn down, now's the time to upgrade. So when summer arrives, your pool is ready. From new finishes and tile to decking, lighting, and full transformations, every upgrade is handled with precision and attention to detail. Purple Heart Pools. Pool renovations done right.
Are you looking for a place to outfit your truck or van? It's Catlin Truck Accessories. For 105 years and 4 generations, Catlin is the name you can count on. This is Keith Catlin, and we know trucks and vans too, from Lear toppers, ladder racks, van shelving, strobe lighting, roll and lock bed covers, and everything in between. If you want quality products and great customer service, there's only one name. It's Catlin.
Who can you count on? Count on Catlin.
For 105 years, you can count on Catlin.
When it comes to glass, you don't want average. You want flawless. Duval Glass and Mirror has transformed homes and businesses across Jacksonville for over 35 years. Frameless showers that wow. Mirrors cut exactly to your style.